Welcome, dear viewers. I'm RJ.B, and today I'm bringing you the players 88, who's playing the purple Zerg here on the top corner. And I am also bringing you SH, also known as Ryan Teacher, although he more often uses the name SH. He uses a lot of names like Gimoji, SH, Ryan Teacher, and a whole slew of other names. And his opponent SH 88, I'm not sure who it is. It might be 88 Seogi. I'm not sure. There's a couple of guys who use 88888 in their name, but whether this guy is one of them, I don't know. Also, I just want to give a quick heads up that in the past, I did a couple of replays of SH, and he had some good replays. He also had some lackluster replays. I'll be completely honest about that one. But I do think that this guy has potential to put up really great matches. So I wanted to give him another try, because I haven't been giving him a chance in quite a while, and I felt I need some different names up on my videos. And this is pretty much the perfect chance, because we haven't seen SH in a while, and we have never seen 88 before. Unless, of course, he's one of the other players that I've already casted or featured in a video before. But, considering I'm not aware, that gives me a little bit of a cheat, because I can claim, oh, I didn't know. And it's true, I don't know. So 88 starts off really risky. He places that hatchery in the choke, and he adds another hatchery in his base before he makes the spawning pool. That is very dangerous. But on the other hand, SH is doing the exact same thing. He's going for 2 Nexi and a Forge. I don't think he's planning on making a choke anytime soon, but he's going for a full-on economy booming build, and 88 is more or less, as I mentioned, doing the same. He's cutting his side spots with his overlords. He's just risking it all for that little boost in economy. And it just so happens to work out, so that's all great. So 3 gateways coming out for SH. No gas yet, although I do suspect the gas might be coming out very soon. But first a cannon to protect himself, just in case the enemy is rushing, although the enemy would probably already have been here. Although maybe he's expecting the 6 Zerglings that you would normally make after your choke finishes to help protect your choke, that those might be coming to attack him. But lucky for him, they're not. Lucky for 88, nothing is coming to attack him either, except for this probe coming in hot and goes into range, leaves range immediately. Even though SH is a slightly lower APM player than the players we usually feature, he is one of the players that has a really good APM to EAPM ratio, which I think is honestly way more important than just APM or EAPM itself. When he's playing on 200 APM, you can expect him to have 180 EAPM. That's how good his ratio is. So that's quite impressive. He does not spam anything at all, and he really showcases that you don't need stupidly high APM to succeed. Because this guy is also the player called Hill Tank that played against Brain God. And he put up a really great fight against Brain God, even pushed Brain God to be fighting on his hind foot. So that's how impressive his Protoss can potentially be. It can almost match Brain God's Terran, which is a very impressive feat to behold. So starts off with the 2 gas, starts off with the Stargate because he wants some Corsairs into the mix, starts off making the pylon here in the front as well because he wants to expo and proxy his robotic facilities and throw up a whole bunch of cannons here in the front to box 88 inside of his base. 88, meanwhile, has really been lowballing his choke there because he only got 3 Sunkens there in the mix. Moving an Overlord here to the front so we can get vision of the front there. This is completely happening unaware to him, or unbeknownst to him. But he does have a total of 5 hatcheries placed in his base and an evolution chamber on the way as well. He scouted the enemy base with that drone, Overlord coming in as well, just to scout again and get more information. 40 probes already because that +2 Nexi really boosts your economy up so damn high to the point that you can max out your army and your probe count at about the 730 minute mark. That's how much power this potentially gives you. At least that's what I've seen happen a couple of times. There's a player called Javi or Saik who really loves to go for +2 Nexus and then into a full-on quick 3 upgrade weapon, armor, and shield, and just mass out and spam out units and overrun you at 730 into the game, where usually the Terran or the Zerg are still quite small and incapable of handling such a massive load. I just said that. Incapable of handling such a massive load being shoved right down their throats. Anyway, Lara now on the way for 88 on 40 drones. He's almost caught up to SH. Corsair now in the mix, doing some scouting, just some recon before those Reavers are going to be effective. Starts making proxy gateways on the middle as well. Shuttle on the way, waiting for the robotic support bay to finish up before he starts those double Reavers. He's got the Scarab upgrade damage on the way as well. Weapon upgrade for melee or for ground forces on the way. And Zealot lags as well, so he might be going for a frontal push with Reavers and Zealots at the same time, which is honestly quite a difficult thing to hold, if not for the fact that 88 probably has the ability to hold it, because all he has to do now is start pumping out a massive amount of Hydralisks, send them to the front, and he could potentially hold it. And that's purely because his economy is so big that he can afford to just make a lot of Hydralisks without really any negative effects. Was already on 60 drones, his economy is big, he just has to add some more gazers into the mix. And you can start adding those Hydralisks into the mix as well. At the moment, the only Hydralisks he's got are just there to fight off those Corsairs. His Overlords are all here in the front because he doesn't want to lose them. One Overlord here on the side for a drop dodge. Very smart to put it all the way over there. Zealot Lag's about to be finishing up. Scarab damage also about to be finishing up. Dragoon range also on the way, but no Dragoons are queued up just yet. Maybe I'm wrong. 4 Dragoons here in the front. Just got queued up right as I was about to say it. So he's going in for level 1 weapon. Scarab damage, Dragoons, and Dragoon range. And then he's going for the frontal attack. It's quite a strong combination, and it should be hitting at about 745, I assume. Depends on when these Dragoons finish up. He's going in first with the Reavers, of course. The Scarab upgrade damage really will make it easier to hit those clumped up Sunkens and tear them down quicker. Lose a single Reaver there in the process. A little bit greedy there with the positioning. More Hydralisks are spawning here for 88. Putting them on the sides. He's expecting a shuttle drop, but no shuttle drop is on the way. He does have a shuttle here, but he's just going for the frontal push and going for that very, very quick 200-200 Psy. He got a little bit delayed though on the 200-200 because he went for those Reavers, which does slow it down a little bit. If he'd gone for just gateways, he'd already have it. But then his frontal push would be significantly weaker because those Reavers in the mix can, if protected by the Dragoons and the Zealots, they can take down 40 Hydralisks or more. And as you can see, they can also take down a lot of buildings without ever being in harm's way. SH now feeling that he's at the point where he can go in because he finished up his Dragoon range and Zealot lags and weapon as well. He goes in, starts tearing through all the Sunkens. They're in the front. This might actually, never mind, 88 really use his economic advantage that he managed to build up over time by going for that very risky start to build himself a nice Hydralisk mass, gets the great surround off on those Reavers and Dragoons and the Zealots that SH sent in for the attack, and now starts busting out because he tore through those Reavers without much effort. But Reavers now spawning here in the back for SH. Maybe 88 can pull through. Chances are nihil now though, because more Dragoons are spawning and entering the fray. If this Reaver goes down before it gets another shot off, he might at least get those cannons down. But the Zealots now coming back in, and more Hydralisks are now spawning. They're going to be on the way as well. But it doesn't look like it's going to work, because a level 1 weapon upgrade on those units is really doing some damage. Hydralisks likewise also have a level 1 weapon upgrade, but now cannons are coming up here on the side, because that is something SH is very, very good at. SH is one of the best builders I have seen. Even though his APM is a bit lower, lower, 250, 240, still pretty damn high. He's one of the quickest builders, multitaskers I've seen. Which says a lot, because there's a lot of amazing multitaskers and quick builders and whatever you want to call them. He doesn't shy away from using cannons. A lot of players will shy away from using cannons because they want to focus on using units, but SH can do it both at the same time. As we can see here, this choke is now a really difficult portion for 88 to go through, because once those highlights enter this portion here, they're going to get attacked by those cannons, they're going to get distracted. Same for this portion here. So he's going to have to find other ways of breaking out of his base. Doesn't have a Queen's Nest yet because he cannot afford it, because he's only on 5 gazers. His drone count hasn't really gone up either at all within the past 4 minutes or so. I'm also been focused on building new Sunkens, making highlights, because the highlights have been going down so quick. No drops have come out for SH yet. Does have a lot of upgrades on the way though. Psystorm there, level 2 weapon upgrade for his ground forces as well. He does have shuttle speed also, because I saw it being researched earlier. Adding on 3 more robotics, adding on 4 more gateways on the middle. There's a total of 12 gateways there on the middle and 3 in his base. Now adding more cannons to his nexus. You're in the back to secure his economy from any potential Hydralisk or Lurker Hydralisk drops with a Defiler in the mix. Always smart to do that one. And even 11 minutes into the game, his minerals are still very low, despite having 97 probes. That's way overkill. He only needs about 75 to keep himself afloat. He might kill off about 20 later on, but right now that 97 is keeping his army size a little bit small, so to speak. It's only 10 zealots that he's missing out on, but still, those 10 zealots might make a difference, because they could have been 10 Templars, they could have been 3 Reavers, who knows, it could have been anything. Actually 5 Reavers, because Reaver is 4 Psi, I assume, or think, if I recall correctly. So more cannons being thrown here on the side, just to set up that contain on 88. 88 is happily, well, not happily, he's feeling the pressure though, but he is just focusing on getting richer and richer, getting more hatcheries up for production, and of course replenishing his Sunkens in the front, because he knows he has to defend against his frontal push that's been happening from SH. I really would have loved to see some drops coming in from SH, and a drop just came in. Right as I mentioned it, but he only got about 16 drones there, not too many, but it's something. It's some results, and it also hurts 88 to pull his drones off of his minerals. So at least he got something done. Put some pressure on 88 once again, but nothing that's really all that serious. Nothing he can't come back from. This game is still completely up in the air, although looking to be in SH favor, purely because he's got the contain. It's going to be difficult for 88 to even use alternative methods other than the front to break out. Of course, there's the Guardian option, but he's still quite far removed from the Guardian option, because his hive hasn't finished yet, and he still has to upgrade that Spire. He can go for a Defiler though, with some Plague and some Swarms. That would be great. 2 observers coming in to kill those pesky lurkers here. So great. SH is prepared. More gateways coming down on the middle for a total of 18. I'm assuming it will be about 20 very soon. It's a lot of robotic facilities there. And now he's got armor and shield upgrades on the way as well. Air armor upgrade on the way as well, just in case he wants to fly in shuttles. And having shuttles with armor means they go down a little bit less quick than without. So yeah, more workers coming in here through the front, trying to burrow right in front of the Reavers to get some damage off on the Reaver. Storm's already coming down. There's also observers that are detecting them. And his unit count is quite small, honestly, but as long as he can get us around enough on the units of SH, he can break through and tear through those ground forces. Although I think a Templar got picked up, a Templar and a Reaver got picked up, but Scorches are there to pick off the shuttle. Great choice to make some Scorches. Scorches, not sure how you pronounce it actually. One thing I want to see is have 88 build some lurkers, morph them up, burrow them all around the hive just to protect his workers and his hive, of course, because I feel that SH might be up to some Reaver droppage, if not just Templar Storms and Reaver drops on the minerals of 88. Yeah, a lot of lurkers being morphed there. A lot of Hylists on the way. Mulists on the way as well. Great Aspire that I mentioned earlier is finishing up right about now. And those Mulists are going to be turned into Guardians. Mind Control is being researched, but I don't see any Dark Templars anywhere on the map, so I don't think he's really going for mind control. He's just setting it up just in case. But I think that SH knows he can win with just Protoss, so he doesn't need the mind control. Nonetheless, he's getting it just in case. Which I hope he doesn't get to use, because that would be really lame. Really, really lame. That's just my opinion. I just find mind control really lame and unbalanced. So yeah, more Sunkens coming down here, trying to defend himself. Lurk is now being put up in the back there to protect himself against those Storm drops. Storm drop is about to be coming in, or is the Reaver drop? It's a massive Storm drop. 5 Templars? 5 Templars. Jesus Christ. 5 Templars. If that's going to be hard to dodge. Unless, of course, he snipes the shuttles, but it's going to be a bit difficult to snipe the shuttles because the reaction time has been reduced by those cannons here on the side. Overlord's still hanging a bit far away. There's not much units there in the way to catch it. And it looks like he's focused on the front there. Drop comes in. Will 88 pull of his drones? 88 pulls of his drones. All of them are running to safety, but he's got 5 storms. 1 storm hits. Kills about 20. Kills about another 20. So with 3 storms, he already managed to kill almost all of them. Now he pulls back. There's more Templars still in the shuttle. So Templar's gonna be unloading and gonna throw down another storm, the finishing touch. But will he unload in time, or will the storm get to? Will the Templar get the storm in time? I think they're in the top corner. It's blocking the view. There comes the Templar, and it doesn't get the storm. You could see it unload right under here. I should have honestly uncovered the top corridor, but anyway. He didn't get to pull off the storm, so that was really, really close. Really, really close. And 88 hangs on by the skin of his teeth. Despite losing 40 drones, which is still a very high number of drones to lose. Gas also lost a couple of gas drones there because this entire area got stormed. A couple of gas drones went down. This economy is really hurting. And Ace H with that 97 probes, which is, I've already said it, way too many. But it's really keeping him afloat to such a degree that he's now on 10,000 gold, well, minerals, despite pumping units non-stop. So yeah, 88 hurting really badly. Tries to snipe a couple of observers, but doesn't really do all that much because he sees that there's a lot more observers than just one. But he goes in, kills number 3, kills number 4, tries to go for number 5. Once he sees it, there it goes, all the observers are dead. 88 manages to keep himself afloat once again, but the massive SH is already being replenished. Another drop already prepared to go in, but he might fly over, straight over those Hydralisks. Does 88 respond? 88 is not target firing the shuttle. Right now he's target firing the shuttle, but it might be too late because the Templar is already there on the logo. Another Templar on the logo as well. Not a Templar, 3 Templars in total, but none of his drones go down because the lurkers saved the day. The frontal attack also failed, or he did not frontally attack just yet. Another drop now coming in from the bottom side. He's got a couple of highlights there in the pathway, but I think this shuttle should be capable of going in all the way. Shouldn't really... I don't expect this one to go down. I expect this one to actually hit the home run while the frontal attack is happening. 88, of course, focused on the frontal attack. He pulls his highlights away from the shuttle. The shuttle goes in. Will he get the storm? He gets the storm off, and all the drones once again go down. Only 400 minerals left. No, even less minerals left because he made... some drones trying to recover, but he's only got 18 left there on the gas. A couple of them in the front there as well, and he cannot even afford to make new Sunkens. He's making new Sunkens. That's going to kill his bank even further, pulling all of his drones back to his minerals, but I think that this might be the game for 88. He just got hit too hard. Storms coming down on the Guardians once again. SH has been doing a great job with his storms, great job with the frontal push here as well. A lot of cannons, now even preparing himself a Corsair Expo. Just because those Guardians have been quite annoying, and Corsairs might just do the trick in taking them down. More drones spawning. Drones spawning there as well. 32 drones for 88. Minerals are at an all-time low. Worker count 2, by the way. And not really any production ability at the moment. He's focused just on drones, and the next wave of units is already coming in very slowly here for SH. Look at the front here. Guardians are doing quite a decent job with their level 1 carapace, but this 223 upgrades on the ground forces here for SH are just tearing through those Guardians so quick. And there's not much of backup here in terms of Hydralisk, lurkers, or anything that 88 can send out to the front. This goes to show that just hitting some storm drops can really is usually the way to win the game in the Protoss versus Zerg. Although, of course, we've seen people win without storm drops, but nonetheless, it really makes it almost a guaranteed win if you can hit those storm drops. It's all mostly up to the Zerg to defend, and well, up to defend, keep their economy alive. The Protoss is pretty much always the aggressor at any stage in the game in the Protoss versus Zerg. 88 here. I think he realized that the game is over. SH killed off some probes. That's nice to see. Of course, that's coming in. Shuttle comes in as well. Reaver there on the logo. Reaver does not get. Reaver gets a shot off. Can those probe? Ooh, he misses the drones, but nonetheless, drones are done for. Zerg is done for. 88 is done for. Goes down after 20 minutes and 40 seconds, and SH comes out the winner. He comes out on top. But that's not yet it, because I want to show another replay between these two players. I've got a total of 4 replays, but they're all about the same length. So I'm not going to do all of them, because that'd be over 80 minutes. I'd be hitting 90 minutes. I'm not really into that right now. I'm just going to do two 20-minute replays, and let's load up game number 2. For game number 2, we are going back to a more commonly seen matchup with SH on the Protoss, the purple Protoss. And we're going to have 88 on the brown Terran on the other side of the map, the other corner. He's playing the brown Terran. His Zerg, while it was pretty good, didn't have what it took to fight and survive against SH's Protoss, who has honestly a very controlled, perhaps a little bit of a straightforward, but a very controlled and smart and well executed Protoss against Zerg with very few mistakes, if any at all. So I really am impressed by SH's Protoss when it comes to his ability to fight against Zerg. 88 played it quite well. He hung in there, but he failed to spot the drops to keep his drones alive. So as 88 starts off with the standard Terran build, barracks, then a depots. Of course, the barracks always first in 1 versus 1, because you want some fighting ability a little bit earlier. There's about 14 seconds between the depot and the barracks. If you were to make the depot first, it takes at least 15 seconds before you can have the barracks up, which means you have that marine out 15 seconds later. And I think the marine spawning time is about 20 seconds. So you can potentially have 2 more marines out before the enemy can attack you than if you would have if you were to make a depot first. And those 2 marines that can fight might make the difference in life or death. A little bit dramatic, but what is drama? What is the world without a bit of drama? So yeah, SH starts off with a Nexus first and then 3 gateways. That is something I've not seen in a long time. Long time. But 88 starts off with only 2 barracks, so he doesn't have that much firing power in the early game, as opposed to when he would make 3 barracks instead. Because that's a little bit more firepower that he can use to fight against his opponent. And now the 3 gateways that SH has will be sufficient to fight against those marines, or probably even overpower them. 2 gas coming out for SH, planning to go for that tech. Cybernetics core, of course, has to be coming down right here, right now, because he's saving up for 200. There's the Cybernetics core. Let it go for Dragoons, Reavers, Zealot legs. I've got no idea what he wants to do, but he's got plenty of options. Whereas 88 is pretty much just forced to go for an academy. A little bit less diverse, the Terran race, than the Protoss in terms of options, but the options are very stellar. The options are mostly down to optimization of how many units do you want to have and when. Whereas the Protoss has like 5 or 6, maybe even 7 legit alternative options that include different unit combinations and different methods of approach. When Marine there, once again, scouts SH's base, but it might not. It makes it out alive. Well, I was doubting it, but it makes it out alive. So, Citadel of Doom coming down. Protoss Forge coming down as well, so we can be expecting a very early cannons, or perhaps... Oh, robotics. Alright. So 3 gateways into full-on tech. He's getting pretty much every single tech building that he can. And the Marines are overpowering the Zealots. Because that's often what happens on 3 gateways into a Terran. Although here SH does have the ability to fight back. He has the ability, but he decides to go in. S88, oh, he gets a pretty good surround there on a couple of Marines. There going down, getting surrounded. They're definitely going down, and 88 bites off more than he can chew, gets caught out of position, and his Zealots go down. His Marines go down. Eaten up by those Zealots. Firebats, not yet on the way. He's not even making Firebats, he's just going for Stim upgrade. He wants to save his gas for that factory and the machine shop add-on, and of course the siege mode and the siege tank itself. Engineering bay there on the way as well. SH is starting to ramp up. 32 probes. Scan came down here from 88. He saw pretty much everything that... He saw everything. Like he saw this entire area here. So he knows what's coming up for SH. He knows there's a Templars aircraft on the way. He knows there's a support bay on the way. He saw the second robotic facility. He saw the Citadel of Dune. He saw everything. He's completely in the know-how. And because he's completely in the know-how, he starts up making a wall of depots there in the front. Stim upgrade is finished now as well. Doesn't have to micro all that much, but still has to micro to avoid losing. Wait, actually, SH is almost coming out on top here because he's taking out most of those Marines there. Going to take down 1 or 2 more, maybe, maybe not. Decides to go for a scout with this Marine, with this Zealot, but the Zealot gets blocked off. Zealot there in the back still being taken down, and eventually 88 does come out on top. But SH took down way more Marines than I thought he would. My judgment was completely wrong in that case. I thought 88 would easily hold that one, but he was forced to micro his way out of that one. So yeah, Marine range now on the way. Only 2 cannons are in the front. That is very menacing. He has a scan. He scans, and I think he scanned the choke there. He sees the Dark Templars, but the scan effect disappears just in time before the Dark Templar can go down, which means that SH can now push back those Marines, and 88 is forced to pull back, of course, in response. Making the depot there in the top side as a drop dodge. Smart move. 2 shuttles have finished up. Storm upgrade is on the way. More Dark Templars are on the way as well. 3 Dark Templars. That's a lot of Dark Templars. Shuttle speed there on the way. Dark Templar just scouting the sides, knowing it can't go in through the front because there's a turret there. Marines there, of course, as well. Putting his Marines in position for the anti-drop. 5 barracks is honestly quite a lot. Spacing his turrets away a little bit further away from the hill, so that SH cannot look over the hill and see the turrets, I think. Alright, so all the Dark Templars here are just for the purpose of having map control and denying 88 any vision on the sides or on the front, and prevent it from moving out as well. Whereas 88 is just fortifying his front with 5 depots. Putting Marines up on the hill, instead of making engineering base and hovering them up on the hill, he puts Marines up on there to extend the vision range of the turrets, but also to have more reaction time to shuttles flying in, because this is the extended vision that he now has. That's about 2 seconds of, maybe 1.5 seconds of extra reaction time. And of course it's easier to spawn on the map, because there's no overlapping of colors. It's always smart to do that one. Yeah, so shuttles finishing up. New gateways finishing up as well. Courser on the way here to help and assist those shuttles with flying in. Already 8 minutes into the game and no attack yet from SH. But just past the 8-second mark, he flies out, goes straight for his target. Marines there, ready to intercept. More Marines here to intercept, but more importantly, what is inside those shuttles? I count 4 Zealots. And a couple of Templars as well. Goes in. 88 starts to tries to snipe the shuttles, but the shuttles make it through all the way. Gets a storm, gets a couple of kills, gets about 10 kills on the SCVs there. Great hit there from SH. Eventually, the shuttles do go down, Templars go down as well. The SCVs returning back to the mineral stack. But that was a pretty good hit from SH. Because 88 hadn't lifted up submarines up on the hill here. So that's what happens when you have less reaction time. He responded pretty quick. But having that little bit of reduced reaction time can just enable the Protoss just enough. Another 2 small drops coming in. One with Templars, one with Zealots. Top one is the real one, bottom one is a distraction. He goes to unload the Zealots there on the low ground, but another drop now flying in. Can he snipe the shuttle? He cannot snipe the shuttle. Templars coming down on the low ground. Templars being shut down, but a storm comes down and he kills about another 13 SCVs. And he even misclicked. He misclicked on his own barracks instead of clicking on the shuttle. That explains why the shuttle didn't go down. Because he killed his own barracks and didn't notice that he misclicked. So there it goes. He goes down. Goodbye. Ally kill. Oh, that feels bad. Poor Marines. So yeah, SH has filled out his base pretty nicely. He's got a bunch of upgrades on the way. Singularity charge on the way now. 950 in. Didn't need it prior. He needs it now though, because he wants to break through the front there as well. So yeah, drop number 3. Ready to go in. Zealots, Zealots, Templars, and more Zealots. And of course, another shuttle there in the back with 2 Templars and a Zealot goes in. I think he's going to unload here on the low ground just to kill units and clear the way for the drop that's following it. But the storm wasn't that successful. The Zealots also not achieving all that much. So he pulls back the shuttle, knowing he can't go in, knowing he needs to regroup with more shuttles and try again. The setup was great in mind, in theory. The execution there fell flat by quite a bit, because he's got that extended vision here on the hill, so the turrets can start firing once shuttles are here, instead of once they're here. Plus he's got more reaction time. So smart move. Same here, same there. Alright, so he comes up from the top side. Marines already moving to intercept the shuttles, but he splits up his shuttles and he starts to unload there to the side. Though he's not unloading these ones, just unloading those over there on the top side. Marines forced to stay away because they're going to get stormed to death once they get a range of those Templars. Zealot is now finishing up the Marines. All the Marines have gone down here for 88. He's forced to pull back, pull SCVs from the Marines from the back to the front. But here comes another drop. This one's the real one, and he manages to snipe it just in time before it can reach the point where it would have been a really painful exchange if the storm had hit those SCVs once again. He's got a medic there though, healing up the stormed SCVs that don't die but do lose HP, so they don't die immediately to another storm from a new drop. Alright, so drop number 6 or 7, it was 6 or 7. Comes in from the bottom side. Once again, this is pretty much just high tempo rapid storming while SH prepares his base and his method of frontal attack or mass attack, whatever he's going to do. Storm comes down, second storm comes down there as well. Dodges the storm really nicely, loses about 1 or 2 SCVs, not that many. Loses more Marines here on the bottom side though. Zelda still wreaking havoc there. But 88 manages to stay out of trouble this time around. Goon there clearing out the sides. Cannons here also there to prevent even more side vision than he already has. Cannons coming down in the middle there as well to keep him boxed in. Carriers are probably going to be on the way soon because he's already started with upgrades for his air. Throws down a fleet beacon. And weapon upgrade for air also on the way. At the moment only 4 Stargates, but I assume it's going to be about 8 or 10 in the near future. So yeah, SH has been spending really well, just as he did last game. He really honestly is a Protoss expert. A slower one, but I'm not really noticing that he is all that much slower. He just honestly has 0 spam in his play, and that's really impressive. 0 spam clicks. Just everything is being sent out and used as he wants it, intends to use it, makes very little mistakes, and it's very consistent and doesn't really give the opponent too much downtime when it comes to pressure. So yeah, frontal attack. Decides to unload Templars there up on the hill, so we can storm the Templars up on the hill, and perhaps even storm units being brought in from behind. And there goes the Templars. Templars getting this great storms on the Marines, but the Marines trying to dodge. But now the Zealots are making their way through into the base of 88. But it looks like 88 might be able to hold this if it pulls units from the back to the front. Although the Dragoons are in the back are not attacking, which is actually something I was praising SH for using his units well. But I guess his lower APM there does have some limitations. Because he's got a lot of stuff to do while attacking. Multitasking, storming, dropping, making shuttles, making new units, a lot of stuff on his plate. But he does manage to tear down the frontal portion here, except for this one lone bunker. Storms out a group of Marines there with the Templar up on the hill. Templar up on the hill eventually does go down. And yeah, the next wave of units is being produced here for SH. No carriers on the way just yet, just still making upgrades. Waiting and aiming for a better point in time to transition. I gotta admit, it's only 14 minutes into the game, but he's been dishing out some serious attempts. And he's hit some serious drops so far, but 88 has been handling it really well, despite getting stormed not once, but twice, and losing quite a number of SCVs in both occasions. Drop prepared there on the top, 3 Templars, 1 Zealot. Another drop here being prepared inside of SH's base. A mass drop this time around. Every single shuttle is filled up with Zealots, Templars, and whatever you can imagine. Mostly Zealots and Templars. Mostly Zealots and Templars. And so a lot of factors now being added on. He's got armories being produced and finished as well. He's got ship weapon upgrade almost finished up. Does he have tank weapon? No, no tank weapon, just ship weapon upgrades because he wants to defend against those shuttles with those Valkyries, which is his main priority at the moment. Defending the front should be a little bit easier with all those bunkers, all those depots, all those tanks are in the back as well. Shuttles flying straight into the Valkyries, so SH is forced to unload right on top of the tanks there on the low ground, and he does so successfully, and actually the frontal drop here is going to tear through all of the units here in the front. Though he's not really... Yes, he's focusing on the bunkers as well. Units going down there very quick. Zealots, tanks in the back there. The storm comes down on top of the SCVs, and he storms about half the SCVs. There's only 46, 42 of them left. I caught it just in time. Really great coordination there from SH with the distraction from the frontal attack and executing the frontal attack really, really well, while simultaneously storm dropping in the back. Dragoons tearing through the bunkers, but they're getting distracted and tripping out by the siege tanks up on the high ground. Nonetheless, he's taking down the bunkers there in the front and opening up a giant hole inside of 88's base that will make it harder and harder for 88 to defend. Although the next stream of units is very small, and those tanks up on the hill are doing work. They are doing real work, they're doing God's work, keeping 88 alive. Because if those tanks had not been up on the hill, this would have been a game-ending push for SH. But his tanks are the heroes of the day. Look at them, they have so many kills, they're dealing so much damage, and by the time units manage to make its way all the way here, they're already on too low HP. And it looks like SH can unload. He can unload Zealots there up on the high ground. It means that these tanks are now going to perish. His Marine is dealing no damage at all on that single lone Zealot because he's on 2 upgrades, whereas the Marines are on 0, 1. Tanks are also still on 0, 0. Valkyries are on 0, 1. He only has 3 armories. He can afford more, but he only has 3 at the moment. He's got all of them upgrading some. No, he's only got 2 upgrades on the way. Vehicle weapons and vehicle plating. More units come streaming in through the front here. He just wants to keep up the pressure and slowly wear him down. But there's still tanks up on the hill. On both sides this time around. Not just one, but 2 sides. And yeah, he's just preparing his carriers. He's preparing a recall as well. He's adding some temples into the mix. Arbiters as well. Where are the arbiters being made? Down here at the bottom. A lot of upgrades on the way here for SH. Building a lot of cannons. Making a gateway expo here on the top side, I assume. Just in case he needs a gateway expo, in the case he winds up losing his middle, like this portion, and his front is being threatened, he can start making units here at the proxy, and basically just go in from behind. EMP on the way. The scary part about this game is honestly that SH is almost maxed out on upgrades. And it's only 1830 in. I think it's gonna take about 30 more seconds for shield and weapon to finish. He finishes armor first, which is honestly quite interesting. Carriers are also almost fully upgraded. I want to see the upgrades. No, I can't see them. Too bad. But yeah, the Valkyries are in the back. Might be capable of fighting against the carriers if he gets a good shot off. Like he can either go for the interceptors or go for the carriers themselves. But the carriers are quite beefy because he's only got level 1 Halo rockets. Well, level 1 upgrade Halo rockets, which honestly don't deal that much damage against the carriers. I mean, or maybe the number of Valkyries is just high enough. Alright, Storm comes down on the Marines. He's breaking through the front. He's broken through the front really nicely, killing a lot of stuff here inside of 88's base. It only has a couple of tanks there in the back. The carriers are now going in. The carriers going in, focusing for the tanks. He tries to kill the carriers with the Valkyries, but the Valkyrie count is so low. There's the Gunther in the mix as well, taking down those Valkyries. Temples are in the back that can also take down the Valkyries, and the round forces are going down very, very quickly. Marines are spawning. Marines are now focusing on the interceptors. Carriers are being taken down by the Valkyries, but the carriers might just win the never mind, they're not going to win the exchange. Valkyries are going to win the exchange there, but nonetheless, there's so many ground forces. Wait, no. Wait, no. No. No way. The carriers are still alive. They've done so much damage. They've almost taken down all the Valkyries, and they are in fact going to take down all the Valkyries before the carriers go down. So it turns out, and he throws down the stages on the SCVs as well. That's the absolute nail in the coffin for 88. Gets absolutely dismantled here. He tried real hard. But SH really put up a great fight. And his APM is also skyrocketed so high because he's massing, pumping, sending units out so damn fast, controlling them as well. And his APM has rocketed up from the usual sub 200. So he's playing his balls off, so to speak. So yeah, no income here for 88. I think he's just being salty right now because he's lost the game quite convincingly. Took a while, he calls his GG, so at least he has good manners. SH comes out on top, wins both games. Although both games were honestly a little bit stacked in his favor concerning its Protoss on fastest map, which is technically the strongest race and fastest map. But nonetheless, really well played from SH. His only weakness is his yeah, I don't know if he has a real weakness. He's quick. Despite his lower APM, he is quick. He has great optimization. He doesn't really forget any detail in his build orders. No details are left unchecked. He's a pretty solid grasp on, now I should do X, now I should do Y, and soon I should do Z. So he's got his plan all figured out as well. And he doesn't shy away from using cannons to get map control on the sides. Might feel a little bit oppressive, but you gotta do anything you can to win. Of course, except using mind control. But you gotta do anything you can to win. And SH does exactly what he needs to do to win. And he does it well. He does it really, really well. So yeah, thanks for watching. That's it for today. I hope you enjoyed these two medium length replays. Call them medium rare. And I hope you learned something from a player who might be more in your APM range. Which kind of shows that, hey, I can do all this stuff too. I don't need that high APM. I don't need 300 plus APM to pull off all this crazy stuff. A solid game plan and execution are all that matters. Thanks for watching.